Hey everybody, John Skiba here from the Consumer Warrior YouTube channel, and in this video I'm going to share with you the #1 secret tip, strategy, whatever you want to call it, that can help you if you are being sued by a debt collector or you're really dealing with any serious debt collection problem. And I can promise you it's a lot simpler than what you might be thinking. But if this is your first time here to my YouTube channel, please click subscribe, check on that little bell. That way you'll be notified each and every day when we put out new videos that'll help you deal with your serious debt issue. All right, let's talk about debt collection lawsuits, garnishment hearings, all this kind of stuff. I had an experience just recently that just kind of really drove home again this one little principle that I have found to be surprisingly effective in dealing with debt collection type issues. And what it was is I was dealing with what's called a judgment debtors exam. So if you get sued by a creditor and they get a judgment against you, they could do these proceedings after the judgment's entered. Essentially, it's like post-judgment discovery, where they can have you come into the court and have to testify about assets that you have, you know, your bank accounts, about your homes, your cars, all this kind of stuff. It's not a real fun thing to go through. It's something where you're literally put on the stand, you're put under oath, and you basically have to share all your financial information so that the creditor can get information on how to collect. Well, we had one of these judgment debtors exams. Client wasn't super happy about having to go, but we went and we showed up at the hearing and we were there. They called the case and the creditor's attorney didn't show. We didn't know, you know, the court even jumped on the phone, tried to call the attorney's office to see where they were at. They'd scheduled this hearing. We were all there, we're ready to go. And the other side didn't show up for whatever reason. And so the court, after going through all that, they said, look, they're not here. They're the ones who filed this thing. So they dismissed those proceedings. And, you know, my client didn't have to go through the judgment debtors exam. And now if that creditor wants to go through the judgment debtors exam in the future, they're gonna have to file a new application or a new motion to the court to have it all reset. And my client was real happy about that because he didn't want to have to go through that process. And I told him, and it's something I actually shared with my kids, the principle was that showing up is a lot of times even more than half the battle. I think that was a He-Man thing or something like that. Showing up is really part of it. So many times things will happen that are unexpected. In this case, I'm sure this attorney had something come up and couldn't be there. But showing up is usually more than half the battle. I can't tell you how many cases I've won in the past where I showed up, the other attorney was late, or they didn't show up at all, and the court just dismissed the case. So if you're dealing with debt collection lawsuits, in particular debt collection lawsuits, you need to make sure that you file an answer. I've told this before on the YouTube channel, 95% of people who get sued by a debt collector don't file any type of response. So they end up with a default against them. If you show up, if you file the answer and respond to the lawsuit, that will give you opportunities to try to deal with it, to defend it. And sometimes the other side just doesn't show up. You know, once you make your appearance and once they don't show up, the court will throw it out. So this is just a very simple approach that you've got to keep this mindset. Make sure you're on time to hearings, make sure you're filing documents on time. If you do all of those things, you're going to put yourself in a position where sometimes luck will go your way and you might even get the thing thrown out completely. So, moral of the story, make sure you show up to those hearings. If you're in the state of Arizona, I do a free consultation. My information's below. I do bankruptcy. I do defend people who are getting sued by debt collectors. We can help you to find a solution to these serious debt problems and put them in the rearview mirror. I appreciate you watching today.